Good morning, students. The last class we have completed theory of moving coil galvanometer. In that theory of moving coil galvanometer, certain things we have written at the edge. I think that most of you have not seen the things. Let me repeat that much of the portion. Then continue the next thing. So, up to this much you have studied CD equals to, that is nothing but deflecting couple is equals to NABI and torsional couple is equals to C into theta. We have seen this much clearly. After this, for balance, so for balance, deflecting couple is equals to torsional couple. Sum of the clockwise moment is equals to sum of the anti-clockwise moment. So NABI C into theta. I need the current I equals to C divided by NAB. Shall I write theta separate? Yes. Then after this C divided by NAB here. C divided by NAB is called constant. So I equals to, shall I write K into theta? If I remove equals to and K, I is directly proportional to theta. Now this is our theory of moving coil galvanometer. The current through the galvanometer is directly proportional to the deflection produced, where K is nothing but the reduction factor. That is called proportional constant. Now, this much of the things I think that you have not seen clearly, that should make it clear. What is the conclusion? The current through the moving coil galvanometer is directly proportional to the deflection produced, that is I is directly proportional to theta. Now this is the factor. Is it clear now? Yes. Then after this we come across the two important terms related to moving coil galvanometer. One is current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer. Then let me come across first one, current sensitivity. Shall I remove this one? Yes. Current sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer, and second one is voltage sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer. Current sensitivity. Current sensitivity. It is called current I, sensitivity, yes. Current sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer. Then what is that current sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer? Current sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer is defined as the deflection per unit current. The deflection per unit current is known as current sensitivity. Therefore, current sensitivity is defined as the deflection per unit current, theta by I. Then what is the equation for that theta by I? That is current sensitivity. We know that CD is equals to CT, balancing condition. Don't buy the things. Sum of the clockwise moment is equals to sum of the anti-clockwise moment. CD equals to NABI or NABI, C into theta. I need theta by I. NAB divided by C is equals to, is it theta by I? Shall I require current sensitivity IS equals to theta by I? Is it current sensitivity? Therefore, current sensitivity is equals to theta by I is equals to NAB by C. This is our equation. From the equation, it is clear that the current sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer is directly proportional to number of turns, area of a coil, and the strength of the magnetic field, and inversely proportional to the couple per unit twist C. As the C decreases, IS increases. Because of that reason, we are selected a suspension strip is a phosphorus bronze. That phosphorus bronze is having least value of C. As the C decreases, the value of IS increases. Right? Then what is the SI unit? Theta is measured in terms of radian. Current is measured in terms of ampere. Radian per ampere. Its SI unit is radian per ampere. Are you getting the point? So this is about what? Current sensitivity. The deflection per unit current is known as current sensitivity of moving coil galvanometer. To have the equation for theta by I, current sensitivity, we go for balancing condition of moving coil galvanometer. Sum of the clockwise moment is equals to sum of the anti-clockwise moment. CD equals to NABI. I have given the hint how to remember it. NABI or NABI C into theta. I need theta by I, NAB by C. Theta by I, theta is measured in terms of radian and current is measured in terms of ampere. Its SI unit is radian per ampere. Now this is about what? Current sensitivity. Then shall I go for voltage sensitivity? Next one, voltage sensitivity. What is that? Voltage sensitivity. Voltage sensitivity. Shall I replace I by V? Voltage sensitivity. Current sensitivity is nothing but deflection per unit current. Voltage sensitivity is nothing but deflection per unit voltage. Then how to define it? The voltage sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer is defined as deflection per unit voltage. The deflection per unit voltage is known as voltage sensitivity. The voltage sensitivity is given by the deflection produced per unit voltage, theta by V. Then theta by V, theta, V equals to I into R. Shall I write theta by I separate into 1 by R? Theta by I is nothing but current sensitivity. IS divided by R. If I want to write the equation, what is IS? But IS equals to theta by I is equals to NAB by C. Already I have done it. So NAB by C, this is nothing but IS into 1 by R. This is our voltage sensitivity. Then what is its SI unit? Voltage sensitivity is measured, that is nothing but theta by V, that is radian per volt. Its SI unit is radian per volt. Now this is about current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity of a moving coil galvanometer. Then after this, then what are the advantages and disadvantages of moving coil galvanometer? The advantage of moving coil galvanometer is, the only advantage is that it can measure very small amount of the current, that is 10 to the power of minus 10 ampere. It is not possible by any device. That is one of the most important advantage of what? Moving coil galvanometer. Now this moving coil galvanometer is highly sensitive. This moving coil galvanometer is highly sensitive. There will be no need of setting this moving coil galvanometer in the Earth's horizontal component BH. There will be no requirement of the setting the moving coil galvanometer in magnetic meridian. It has got its own advantage. The main thing is that it can measure very small amount of the current, that is 10 to the power of minus 8 to 10 to the power of minus 10 amperes. Then it has got its own drawback. Because of its high sensitiveness, we cannot send the large amount of the current. If we send the large amount of the current, there is a more deflection is produced. So there is a more twist is created. Because of that more twist, there will be chances of cutting the suspension strip. Now, it is nothing but complicated arrangement of what? Lamp and scale arrangement to measure the deflection. It is highly time consuming. to set the device, it takes a lot of time to measure the current. And it is bulky. It cannot be shifted so easily from one place to another place. Because of its only one advantage, that is measures very small amount of the current, we give the importance. So delicate suspension, complicated suspension, we cannot send the large amount of the current. If we send the large amount of the current, more twisting is going to be created. Due to that more twist, there will be chances of what? Cutting the suspension strip. So, we can modify this moving coil galvanometer into laboratory galvanometer. Then we come across laboratory galvanometer. This is a modified form of what? Moving coil galvanometer. That is Western galvanometer, table galvanometer. You usually can say that laboratory galvanometer. You can say that pointer galvanometer. Pointer galvanometer. Pointer galvanometer, table galvanometer, or Western galvanometer, or laboratory galvanometer is a modified form of what? Moving coil galvanometer. The construction is the same. Instead of the coil suspending, it is fixed, pivoted with the help of what? Jeweled bearings. So, there are the same construction is same as that of moving coil galvanometer. It is also having two concave pole pieces of the magnets, north and south. Instead of the coil being suspended, the coil is pivoted. The coil is pivoted or fixed with the help of jeweled bearings. The bearings which are used for the jewelry, that is minute in size, then such bearings are called jewel bearings, and it is fixed with the help of what? Jewel bearings, and pointer is attached to the coil. Pointer is attached to the coil. And there is a graduated scale. The scale which is marked, that is called graduated scale. Center 0, and there are the divisions on both the sides. Now this is the graduated scale, on which the pointer moves. Now this is the graduated circular scale. And there is a hair-like springs and these are the two terminals T1 and T2 through which you can pass the current. When the current is passed through the coil, the vertical sides of the coil experience the force which are equal in magnitude but opposite direction at two different points constitute a couple. The coil rotates. As the coil rotates, the pointer also rotates and it shows the deflection on the scale. And these two coils act as a restoring couple. And these two terminals are meant for what? Passing the current. Now this is nothing but a magnet. That is nothing but the coil which produces the magnetic field. Now this is nothing but the coil. There is a hair-like springs and having the two terminals T1 and T2. Through them we can pass the current through the coil. When the current is passed through a coil, so the vertical sides of the coil experience the force which are equal in magnitude but opposite direction. Hence, a torque is created that makes the coils to be rotated. So the pointer moves on the scale so that we can see the deflections. The working principle is same as that of what? The moving coil galvanometer. Current through the coil is directly proportional to the deflection produced theta. Now this is I is directly proportional to theta. Whatever the theory of moving coil galvanometer is given the final equation, that same equation is meant for what? The table galvanometer or moving coil galvanometer. Sorry, table galvanometer or laboratory galvanometer. I is directly proportional to theta. Then it is provided with window, and the complete case is, the complete apparatus is fixed in a non-magnetic frame, an ebonite case provided with window, so that we can easily see the pointer moment, and it is brought in the market as a laboratory galvanometer or table galvanometer. Now this is a modified form of Munkel galvanometer. Instead of being suspending the coil is pivoted or fixed with the help of jewel bearings and provided with the spiral springs, and the two terminals are provided for the spring T1 and T2, and it acts as a restoring couple. The current is passed through the coil, it experiences the torque. As the coil rotates, the pointer also rotates, and it shows a deflection on the graduated scale. And it is based on the principle I is directly proportional to theta, and the complete apparatus is placed in a non-magnetic frame, ebonite case provided with window, so that we can easily see the moment of the pointers. Now this is our modified form of Munkel galvanometer, that is your laboratory galvanometer. Then after this we come across the last thing of the topics, ammeter and voltmeters. Conversion of galvanometers into ammeters and conversion of galvanometer into voltmeters. Basically, ammeter and voltmeters are galvanometers. Basically, ammeter and voltmeters are galvanometers. And ammeter and voltmeters are modified form of what? Galvanometer. Then first one I come across, conversion of galvanometer into ammeter, G2A conversion. Conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. First, what is ammeter? Ammeter is a device which is used to measure current through the circuit. Ammeter is a device which is used to measure current through the circuit in amperes, and it is a modified form of galvanometer. Then, how to convert galvanometer into ammeter? Conversion. I take the galvanometer. Every device has got its own resistance. G is the resistance of the galvanometer. I want to convert the galvanometer into ammeters. Then how to convert it? So, I take the small resistance. That small resistance is called shunt resistance, yes. By connecting small resistance in parallel with galvanometer, then the combination acts as a ammeter. Now this combination acts as a ammeter. By connecting small resistance in parallel with galvanometer, then the combination acts as ammeter. The small resistance is called shunt resistance, and connecting the small resistance in parallel with the galvanometer is called shunting. Then what is the use of this shunt resistance? The shunt resistance increases the range of the galvanometer, and it acts as a protecting guard for galvanometers. Now how it acts as a protecting guard for galvanometers? Suppose if we pass the current I is the main current. Now this is a parallel combination, current divides current through the galvanometer Ig, and current through the shunt resistance is Is. Because of the low resistance, it allows what? Maximum current. If the large amount of the current is passed through the device, the maximum current is rushed through the shunt resistance. Less current is flowing through the galvanometer. Hence, so whatever the damage takes place, only that shunt resistance is get damaged, but galvanometer is safe. Hence, it acts as a protecting guard for galvanometer, and it also increases the range of the galvanometer. Now this is my conversion. Ammeter is a modified form of galvanometer. By connecting small resistance in parallel with galvanometer, then the combination act as a ammeter. Right? Then what is the function of the shunt resistance? The shunt resistance increases the range of the galvanometer and it acts as a protecting guard for galvanometer. Then I need this yes. In parallel combination, I use the space properly. Let me redraw the figure once again. I want to use the space properly. This is what? Conversion. Right? I take the galvanometer of resistance G. I connect a small resistance S in parallel with galvanometer, and process is called shunting, and this is the main current I. Now the combination act as a ammeter. Is it clear? Yes. The current through the galvanometer is Ig, current through the shunt resistance is Is. Once again, the main current I. Right? Yes. I need this yes. In parallel combination, the potential difference is same. Therefore, in parallel combination, shall I write potential difference across G equals to potential difference across S? Potential difference across G is equals to potential difference across S. So Ig into G is equals to Is into S. But I equals to Ig plus Is, then Is equals to I minus Ig. Shall I write? The total current I equals to Ig plus Is. Then shall I write here? Ig into G is equals to I minus Ig into S. Then S equals to G into Ig divided by I minus Ig. This is my equation. एक बार पूरे इक्वेशन ग्लांस कर लो. The required small resistance S equals to G into Ig divided by I minus Ig, where I is the main current and Ig is the current through the galvanometer. G is the resistance of the galvanometer. Is it clear? Yes. Right? Then what is the resistance of the device? रोता समझ में आ गया तो let me come across the resistance. R effective of ammeter. Effective resistance of ammeter. Now these two are in parallel. R effective equals to G parallel to S. Gs divided by G plus S. R1 is parallel to R2 means R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So if I compare the values of G and S, G is far greater than S. Here G is far greater than S. Then what about R effective? R effective equals to G is far greater than S means what? S is neglected. Therefore, S is neglected from the denominator. Gs divided by G get cancels. R effective equals to S. Therefore, S is neglected from denominator. I can write here clearly. Here G is far greater than S, hence S is neglected from denominators, because whatever the term should be neglected, that should be either addition or subtraction. So S is neglected, G get cancels. effective is S. Is the S is low resistance or high resistance? So low resistance. The effective resistance of ammeter is low. Hence ammeter is a low resistance device. What this equation tells? The ammeter is a low resistance device. If I put one more question, what is the resistance of ideal ammeter? So low, already low resistance. If I ask that how much low? Approaching to 0. Ideal ammeter has got 0 resistance. Ammeter itself is a low resistance device. If I go for ideal ammeter concept, the ideal ammeter has got 0 resistance. Ideal ammeter has got 0 resistance. Now this is our conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. पूरे एक बार देख लो. Yes. The next one, conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter. Already we have completed conversion of galvanometer into ammeter. Conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter. Basically, voltmeter is a galvanometer. What is voltmeter? Voltmeter is a device which is used to measure the potential difference between the 2 points in the circuit. So, by using the galvanometer, we convert galvanometer into voltmeter. How to convert that galvanometer into voltmeter? I go for conversion. I take the galvanometer of resistance G. G is the galvanometer of the resistance. By connecting high resistance in series with galvanometer, then the combination acts as a what? Voltmeter. Now this combination is acting as a voltmeter. If I pass the current through the galvanometer, that is nothing but Ig is the current through the galvanometer, and V is the potential difference measured across the device. V is the potential difference. Now this is my conversion. By connecting high resistance in series with galvanometer, then the combination acts as a voltmeter. Let Ig is the current through the device and V is the potential difference across the voltmeter. Then I want to calculate the value of high resistance. How much high resistance is connected? So that galvanometer is converted into voltmeter, I need the value of R. From Ohm's law, shall I go for Ohm's law? From Ohm's law, potential difference V equals to the product of current and resistance. Now these two are in series. Shall I write R effective? Then V equals to Ig. R effective is nothing but these two are in series, G plus R. From this equation it is clear that the potential difference is directly proportional to current through the galvanometer, V is directly proportional to Ig. Right? Then I need R. V by Ig is equals to G plus R. Therefore, R equals to V by Ig minus G. Now, this is the required high resistance to be connected in series with galvanometer. एक बार इक्वेशन को अच्छी तरह से ग्लांस कर लो. Right? From this equation, what is clear? V is directly proportional to Ig. We know that I is directly proportional to theta. So, then V is directly proportional to theta, we can say it. Whatever the potential difference is to be measured, that should be seen directly through the deflection theta factor. Right? Then after this, what is the effective resistance of voltmeter? I need effective resistance. Right? एक बार पूरे इक्वेशन को ग्लांस कर लो, या तो एक तरफ इस तरफ यूज कर लूँगा मैं पूरे फिगर से एक तरफ लेके इक्वेशन को एक तरफ कर दूंगा मैं. Shall I go for once again? Yes. I take the figure one side and with systematic writing so that I can use the space properly. Right? वही इक्वेशन और एक बार लिखता और कुछ नहीं है. How to convert it? So a galvanometer of resistance G by connecting high resistance in series, the combination act as a what? Voltmeter. Current through the device is Ig, V is the potential difference. Now this combination act as a voltmeter. Right? From Ohm's law, V equals to Ig into R effective. दोनों सीरीज में है. Then shall I write G plus R? From this equation, V is directly proportional to Ig. Hence, whatever the current flowing through the device, that is directly measures what potential difference V. So, I need R. V by Ig is equals to G plus R. Then R equals to V by Ig minus G. Right? Now, this is the required high resistance to be connected in series with galvanometer. R effective of voltmeter. R effective is equals to G plus R. Here G is far greater than R. Sorry, R is far greater than G. Hence, G is neglected. And what is the remaining factor? R effective is equals to R. Capital R is a low resistance or high resistance? High resistance. Hence, the effective resistance of voltmeter is what? Capital R, high. Hence, voltmeter is a high resistance device. What earlier we have studied? Ammeter is a low resistance device. Here, voltmeter is a high resistance device. When you go for the ideal concept, voltmeter is a high resistance device. If you ask the question, how much high? It approaches to what? Infinity. Hence, we can go for ideal concept. Ideal voltmeter has got infinite resistance. Ideal voltmeter has infinite resistance. Is it clear? So, in the case of ammeter is a low resistance device. If you go for the ideal concept, ideal ammeter has got zero resistance. If you come across the voltmeter is a high resistance device, but ideal voltmeter has infinite resistance. Now this is about what? Conversion of what? Galvanometer into voltmeter. एक बार फिगर को ग्लांस कर लो अच्छी तरह से. How to convert the galvanometer into voltmeter? By connecting high resistance in series with galvanometer, it acts as a voltmeter. V is the potential difference across the device. From Ohm's law, V equals to Ig into R effective. R effective is nothing but the two resistors are in series, G plus R. R equals to V by Ig minus G. When you come across the effective resistance, R effective equals to G plus R. R is far greater than G, hence G is neglected. The effective resistance of voltmeter is high, hence voltmeter is high resistance device. When you go for the ideal concept, the ideal voltmeter has got infinite resistance. Now this is about what? Conversion of galvanometer into voltmeter. Is it clear? Yes. Now this makes the end of the topic, moving charges and magnetism. Yes. Next class we start with what? न्यूमेरिकल्स. अगर कुछ भी डाउट्स रहे तो आप कमेंट बॉक्स में डाल सकते हैं. इज इट क्लियर? यस. थैंक यू.